many years now, and last year I made a 2-minute vignette on a friend of mine who was transgender. It was called Metamorphosize.
Just, who are you? Your name, age, something about you.
I made that video because I've always been intrigued by social issues like equal rights, LGBTQ rights, and discrimination especially. I'd known her for roughly 14 years before I found out that she was transgender. I thought, maybe she could give me some insight on what she's been through, because at the time I didn't really understand it. I was also raised in such a way where I know, as long as you're not hurting anybody, it's okay to be different. That's why I never really paid much attention to, gender, sexuality, race, religion, anything like that. And now that I've grown up a bit, and we now live in an age where, this is still an issue, discrimination, I thought it'd be a good idea to explore the idea of why do people discriminate? And quite frankly, who better to ask than the future of this country?
Our journey takes place at Penfield High School in upstate New York. Penfield is well known for having one of the best school districts in the entire state. Before we went and talked to students, I wanted to get a better understanding of how one of the many different school programs handles these social issues. So we turned to Paul Birkby, GSA advisor for the school. In 2014, Mr. Birkby won the News 8 Golden Apple Award from WROC in Rochester.
Excuse me, Mr. Birkby. Surprising congratulations. You're the winner of a Golden Apple Award for being an awesome teacher. Thank you, sir.
Holy mackerel. I am speechless, and that doesn't often happen, as my principal and my superintendent can attest.
Wow. The Rogue Films crew and I sat down with him to discuss the GSA, a little bit about him, and ask the question, why do we discriminate?
So, just to start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are.
Yep, I'm Paul Birkby. I'm one of the librarians at Penfield High School. I've been an employee of the Penfield District for 26 years. Been at the high school for 14 years. Before that, I was a practicing attorney until I realized that being with kids is a lot more fun than being with judges and other lawyers and clients. And I'm also one of the advisors for the high school GSA Gender and Sexuality Alliance.
Okay, how did you start as the GSA advisor?
Well, when I first got to the high school, I was interested. I wanted to do what I could to help LGBTQ kids, and there was a GSA here, so I just kind of hung around as kind of an unofficial advisor for a couple of years, and then one of the advisors didn't want to do it anymore, so I became one of the actual advisors.
Are students who identify with the LGBT different than others who don't?
I think the LGBTQ kids have different challenges. I think all teens have challenges. The difference with LGBTQ kids and their challenges is that society is not necessarily set up to support them and the challenges that they face.
Okay. Do you have any different experiences with that kind of stuff? Have you had student experiences with them needing help facing a challenge or something?
Oh yeah. Well, what usually happens with me is that I make relationships with kids that in the GSA, and because I'm so out, I think almost every person in the high school knows that I'm a gay man, so I don't really know what impact I have outside of the GSA. The one thing that I can say is that it's almost an annual event that the Thanksgiving break of a former student's sophomore year in college, I often get a call to meet them for coffee, and they come out to me, and lots of times they tell me that even though they weren't out in high school, just knowing that I was there, that there was a GSA, helped them get through high school.
Mr. Birkby was nominated by senior Stephen Tracy.
Well, high school can be tough for all people, and honestly, I came out and it was really just, I don't know, it was weird, but I knew I could talk to him, I was comfortable.
That I remember being a high school student, and I remember how isolating and lonely that can be, and I wanted to make sure that I would do what I could to make sure that kids had a more positive high school experience than I did.
Do you have any advice for any LGBT students generally in school or out of the closet or not?
Well, first, I highly recommend, wherever you are in your journey, to come to GSA. It really is a safe place where you can be yourself. It's a confidential place. We don't even keep track of who comes to meetings. So if you just want to drop in, anybody's welcome to come and see if it's a place that you would like to fit in. And just by coming to a GSA meeting doesn't really have any impact on how you identify. It's because it used to be the gay-straight alliance. Now we broadened that to gender and sexuality so that everybody is welcome at a GSA meeting, either if you're dealing with LGBTQ issues or if you're a straight ally that wants to help kids dealing with LGBTQ issues. It's a great judgment-free place to come.
All right, and last question. Why do you think people discriminate against others?
I think primarily it's fear of the unknown, that I think as the current political climate has indicated, that fear of the other is a pretty powerful motivator. That when we have a president that wants us to be afraid of people from other countries, wants us to be afraid of people whose skin is not as light as their skin. I think it's fear of the unknown. Even for folks that base their antipathy to LGBTQ issues in a religious base, it still has to do with being afraid.
All right, thank you very much.
Now it's time to go interview the majority of the population of the school, the students.
I'm in 12th grade. I'm a senior.
I'm a junior. 9th grade.
I'm a senior.
I hang out with my friends a lot. I like to longboard in the summer, go outside, shop, play video games.
I like to play volleyball and soccer. I hang out a lot with my friends. I go to youth group. I have a job at Heath when I work in the dining room. Just little stuff like that.
I like to play video games, go outside, spend time with friends, and just get my homework done, work on any other things in my free time.
I like Boy Scouts. I have 2 jobs. I'm a media specialist. I'm a firefighter. I like hanging out with friends. I try to read a book every 2 to 3 days and get a new book after. Pretty normal.
And since this is a documentary about discrimination, why do you think people discriminate against others?
I think a lot of it is people not really understanding what's going on in other people's lives and like just not being aware of things. I feel like people fear things that they're not, like, that they don't really know about. People fear the unknown, so that might be part of it.
People want attention. People are hungry for attention. So that would kind of make sense.
We're all one person, and we technically just need to have the same rights. Like, I don't find it fair.
Just who are you? Your name, age, something about you.
I was born in John. Now I go by Quinn. But to everyone, 17, I'm transgender and also lesbian, if you want to say it that way, gay, queer. And I do a lot of filming, just like the cameraman.
Hi, my name is John. I'm 18 years old, and this is my life. When I was born, I was put into foster care with my now mom and dad. At 3 years old, I was adopted. My life was pretty simple growing up. I tried a lot of sports, getting put into soccer and basketball a lot. Right now, I'm a firefighter. My job is to put out fires and to help out in various tasks such as gas leaks, rescues, and a whole lot more. I also work for my high school as a media specialist, which means I work and manage a lot of filming that needs to be done everywhere and anywhere in the school. I'm as normal as you can get. I've got a car. I've got a great group of friends. I'm going to college soon. Isn't that cool? Now, that seems like a normal life. I'm 18. I've got my car, my friends. I'm adopted. But what makes me stand out? John isn't my name. Well, it's my dead name. My name is Quinn. I'm also transgender.
What do you identify as?
So everyone's different, right? Everyone can have their own terms and personalities, but I am queer, which means I'll just like anyone, date anyone. Doesn't really matter what gender you are or what sexuality. Well, that matters, but whatever you are. And then I am transgender, male to female. That means I was born with this hideous male body and I am a female on the inside, I guess. I mean, a lot of people have different explanations for it, but that's just the best way I see it as, so.
When did you first realize, like, this was who you are?
So, it varies with transgender people. Me, it was at a very young age where I would more look towards like female icons and dresses and makeup and all the quote-unquote girly stuff. And then it didn't really resurface me because I didn't have that background or growing up with LGBT history and what that meant to be who I am. And I carried like these two bands around to remind myself who I am. And so high school, I came out officially to everyone. Some people knew for a long time, like 3 years. But when I came out, it was like a big change for me. And when I came out, it was difficult. And I've known for my entire life, but that was really when I put the term and it was like, this is me.
Yeah, and I know you came out to me a little bit before you did to everyone else. So, what do you think's the hardest thing about being out in the world, and like what are some of the struggles that come with being who you are?
Well, in our society, there's a lot of like controversy where everyone's like, oh, you can't have a gay female in this show, or you can't have lesbians kissing, or gay men having sex. Like, the biggest thing is like, it's just being me and trying to accept me, because I'm more prone to like not hear others when they're saying, oh, you're a terrible person, oh, you're a dyke, oh, you're a faggot, or something like that. It's like, the biggest part is just trying to accept who I am, and that's difficult because everyone's grown up as like, oh, I'm a straight male or I'm a straight female and I'm just that, I can't be anything else. And when you put change, it's like everyone kind of opens their eyes and it's like, that's weird, and it's like tradition kind of. So it's just being me and accepting who I am. It's like, and struggles, it's like people look at me funny because when I came out, I did a big name change where everyone used to call me John. That's my dead name, or birth name as you call it. And sorry, everyone just looks at you weird, and it hurts when people are like, they struggle. I get people like they struggle with like your name or pronouns. Like I go by she, her, or Quinn, but people are just like, the close friends, yeah, they accept me, they love me for who I am, but other people, it's like, it's hard because I pass as a male, but sometimes I pass as a female, or people don't really see that, and then they see the scruff on my chin, or like hair that in places that it shouldn't be on a female, so it's like, I don't look normal, and people can't accept that, and that's just hard.
Why do you think that people discriminate against others?
A lot of people try to make themselves feel better, because everyone has a story on the inside, deep down. Even if you see them as like a total jerk, they're still gonna have something going on in their minds. But some people, it varies. Some people just do it for fun because they like negative comments, or they like different feelings than others, or they feel bad about themselves and they're struggling with having a secret boyfriend in 7th grade, or it just really varies with people. But the main thing is like, a lot of people just don't care in this world, and that's really upsetting, because like, you should care about a lot of things. People don't care about like what your pronouns are, what your sexuality is. They care about how you dress, or how you talk, or how you appear in court or into the world making a speech, and that seems to be the most important thing for people, and I really don't get that. So yeah.
Quinn isn't the only one. According to a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, about 20% of the population is attracted to their own gender. The world has a lot more to change than people have to realize. Students and teachers are alike, so why discriminate? For people struggling with topics such as bullying, discrimination, and general harassment, there are many hotlines and resources to use that are on screen now. So I end this documentary with asking you this: why do we discriminate?